What's up, guys? My name is Emerson, your favorite manic and melanated photographer.
Hey, this is Alex, or you can call me Peach, your local content creator and fruit enthusiast.
And welcome to the Phot-Bros podcast.
Your one-stop shop for all things photography, videography, and content creation.
Yo.
Episode 19, guys.
What?
I know, we came so far, dude. Man, it's going to be a big episode because we have a special friend. We have a special guest here today. She is an icon in the DFV creative community, you know, content creating, modeling. It's superb, you know. She's really a big icon out here.
Yeah.
So let's give a warm welcome to Rebecca.
Hi.
So she has been a model since when?
2022.
2022, yeah. And what a journey it has been for you. Because like I've seen you everywhere. I'm like when I first got started, I was like, who is this? She's like, because you were there, and I'm like every single shoot from every photographer I follow from like meetups and all, it's like you always there in different poses. I'm like, who is this goddess? Like,
oh, thanks.
But I think we met up at a meetup. I don't remember exactly how we met up. Do you remember?
It was at a casting call that was organized by Visuals DMV.
Right.
And it should also be clarified that I'm not the other Rebecca Kelsey. I'm Rebecca Chen.
Rebecca Chen, guys. Okay.
Rebecca Chen.
Yeah.
Yes.
But still, Rebecca Chen, she's well known around here. She's a close friend of both Emerson and I. She is like amazing. She has so many ideas out there and has so many thoughts on a lot of things. But I'm going to stop talking for a bit, and then I'm going to let Rebecca talk about a bit about yourself, your background. Like, how long have you been in the area, where you're from, so on?
I'm originally from New Jersey.
Oh, shout out to New Jersey.
I've been modeling for 2 years, been on Instagram for who knows how long, since high school.
True.
And then I kind of converted my Instagram account into more of a professional modeling centered account, but I might be pulling away from that pretty soon for reasons I'll disclose later. But I've been doing a lot of shoots and can thank the DMV for launching that, doing everything from boudoir to cosplaying to portrait meets and street meets, studio shoots to editorial shoots to personal passion projects to workshop classes to lighting workshops. So I'm very happy to have been able to do all of that.
Dude, impressive.
I need to do more.
Yeah,
Dang.
so do I. I've been sticking to one route. I should probably go out there.
I need to branch out a little bit.
I know. I got to do a Rebecca Chen. I got to like get out there and go everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah, I can dabble. But so what got you into it in the first place? Like,
that's a good question. I originally actually photographed like landscapes a lot by myself. I used to live in Japan, so that's like a big part of me that people know.
Shout
And I
out
lived
to
there
Japan.
do Japan.
for 3 years.
Oh, I miss Japan.
And everywhere you look in Japan, everything is beautiful. Like no matter what time of day, what the weather's like, where you are in Japan, you can take out your camera and everything that you take would be amazing. So I was super inspired every single day that I lived there, and it felt like I was living in my own anime. And then I came back to the US and everything was not as beautiful. And I really lost a lot of inspiration just living here. And I had reverse culture shock for 2 years. And then I tried to sort of put some creativity back into my life by trying to photograph again, but there's nothing to photograph. So then I tried to put myself on the other side of the camera. And then that's sort of when that took off, because I started posting selfies. And like me doing my own makeup, me styling myself with clothes I already had and posting that. And then I guess some people noticed and started following me. I realized they were photographers in this area. So then someone put out like a small model call and I applied. I was like, me. And then that's how I met a bunch of photographers, connected with them. Then they went out to shoot with me. And then I met more people. And then it just kind of snowballed from there.
And from there blossomed into the, I don't know, like the thing, like the big figure that you are now.
Oh, thanks. I don't think I'm that big, but I think it's a pretty common origin story.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah,
We love origin stories.
yeah, but I don't know. I don't know about you, but I see a crown hovering right there, you know, right above it.
Queen.
Right. But yeah. And where do you see yourself with modeling, like your future in it? Like you plan to, I imagine you plan to continue aside from breaks that you have, but where do you see yourself going now with that?
I love being in front of the camera, and I really think it's due to my Leo personality that has kind of blossomed over this modeling career. I love the attention. I don't have stage fright. I don't have public speaking anxiety. So I feel
I wish I had those traits.
emboldened and enlivened when I'm in front of a camera and in front of people. And I've wanted to take that sort of passion and move it actually more into acting. So I've been looking at acting classes recently, and trying to select one to go to. I also really like dance. So I've been looking for more dance classes to be a part of. And all these things, the acting, the embodying, the physical, kinesthetic intelligence transfers back into modeling and vice versa. And these are all transferable skills that would be useful for somebody who wanted to industrialize their skill set as a professional model. So right now I'm just working on acquiring more of those. But I also am taking a break from modeling at the moment because I'm studying for the LSATs. So my future career in law, hopefully, is actually the career I'm trying to focus more time on these days.
Amazing.
Awesome.
So it'll be a hard road, but I have to sacrifice kind of time to do that, and hopefully in the future work out the balance between the two.
Okay, that's pretty good. I'm wishing you all the luck on those LSATs.
Definitely.
Yeah, you're gonna do it. You're gonna rock.
Thanks so much.
So actually, I was curious in regards to acting. You said you took a few classes, and have you gotten any opportunities in regards to community theaters? If you acted anything else, or at least maybe practice in front of a mirror?
I actually haven't taken any acting classes yet. I said I was looking for.
Okay,
yeah,
that was
I'm trying to pick a conservatory or an acting school around here, and a lot of this came from doing some work and kind of applying to different agencies in LA and realizing what the market was looking for, and everyone basically didn't see a future for me in modeling because I'm only 5'2". So being a petite model has its struggles.
I see.
But everyone was basically like, but if you acted and you had a real portfolio to show us, then I know a million places that would want you. So, but out in LA, it seems like the prestige of the acting school matters a lot. So that's why I've been taking my time trying to pick a place around here. At the same time, there's also value in finding an acting school and just getting some experience under your belt before you try to put a specific school name on your acting resume and sending that around.
I see. Okay, that's very good to know for any actors out there. That's a really good tip to follow. It's always I mean, I can see you in LA though, like just right there on a billboard.
Thank you.
Yeah. I really want to see you somewhere acting. Like if
gotta aim high.
Yeah. If you're ever in a play, send the invite. I will be there.
Okay, we'll do.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Manifest it. Now, following up on what Peach was talking about in regards to your modeling career, Rebecca, I wanted to know what were some of the biggest challenges you faced when starting out, and how did you overcome them?
Some of the biggest challenges were figuring out the right people to shoot with, because in the beginning, when you don't know anyone, it seems like there are so many photographers out there, but if you don't know their reputation, they're all sort of the same. And you can make mistakes along the way about trusting a certain photographer and having a terrible experience, and then finding out afterwards that everyone avoids that photographer. It's like,
gotta spread the word.
I wish there was another way to learn that. So I think that was the biggest mistake. And you would think that the biggest mistake is you don't have enough photographers to shoot you, or you're trying to build a portfolio. But I think there are so many photographers out there that want to shoot, especially a new face, that is actually not that hard. However, there are a lot of photographers, I think, who would take advantage of talents that are that eager and don't have the discernment or the background knowledge to know any better. So I would say that's the biggest challenge, not just for me, but for maybe most new upcoming creative people.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
You always have to get those references.
Yeah.
Because you just never know at all.
Yeah. I mean,
nowadays.
and eventually, you know, maybe if you're not like on the right page or maybe not like selected to be that, you know, main photographer, like, well, you can always build up your skills. And eventually, once you get better, know what you're talking about, know the concepts, know everything. Because like, you know how we talked about before, at lighting, aperture, ISO, learn all that.
Learn all of it.
Once you got all that down, then you're golden. And then you know what you're talking about. You have the knowledge, and then you can move on.
Yeah,
from
like
there.
I tell all the new photographers, go to street meets, go to portrait meets.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't start hitting up people individually. You start just network.
Exactly.
Network. Now, on the subject of photographers, so something I always say is that you need to vibe with the person that you are working with in order to create good photos. Now, I've been doing photography for like 5 to 6 years. I've worked with a lot of people that just I did not get along with whatsoever, and just the energies and my energy were not aligning, and the photos came out just totally terrible. So I want to know, how can you tell if you click with a photographer based on their personality, their style, or anything like that?
Generally, when I'm selecting photographers, I look at the product first, because that's kind of hopefully what you get out of it. If it's not for the bank, hopefully it's for your book. And vice versa. So if I don't like the product, then there's very little reason for me to work with someone, even if they are the nicest person in the world.
Very true.
Secondly, I think, and this goes both ways, but speaking as a model, you are going to encounter many types of personalities. So you also have to be a pleasant enough person to work with, and flexible enough to work with different types of personalities. So even if you don't get along with someone 100%, if you can get along with them 60% and they haven't crossed any of your boundaries, then they're not really like a bad person to work with if you get photos that you like and it was a professional experience. And I think my third point is knowing your boundaries. So being firm about what you're comfortable doing in front of a camera, what you're comfortable wearing, how long you want to shoot, not getting pushed around, not getting asked to do things that you don't want to do. As long as you're firm about that and those boundaries aren't crossed, and if you don't even have to say them out loud and those boundaries are just respected, I think that's a tick in the photographer's favor. I would be happy to work with someone like that again. And I've definitely worked with very talented people who didn't have the best personalities.
Yeah, we all had our fair share.
Like really, really amazing photographers who no one would know, like in a one-on-one situation, that they're a little bit grouchy or something.
Oh yeah.
So other talents may want to work with someone like that again, which is totally their prerogative. You sort of decide for yourself if that's worth it for you.
Definitely. You got to feel that energy. If the energy's not aligning with you, sometimes you either suck it up and you get it done, or you just choose for your own mental health or sanity to move on to another photographer.
Yeah. I mean,
the choice is yours.
Yeah. I mean, there is we all have our own screening process, you know, whether it's like talking at meetups and then from there you can figure it out. And in your case, you have your Zoom calls.
I have Zoom calls. I have questionnaires now.
Questionnaires, okay.
Yeah, where I'm basically just asking them like preliminary screening questions. Just like, hey, what are you looking for? What type of shoot would you like? And I make a decision on, am I the right person to bring this to life? Because last thing I want to do is waste somebody's time. And if I know like, okay, I'm not really connecting with this person or vibing with them well, I don't want them to come out, do a shoot with me, and they're not pleased with the results. Because there's certain things I'm good at, and there's a lot of things I'm bad at. So the questionnaire helps out, so I don't end up doing something that I think I'm good at when really I'm terrible at it, and then the model is pissed off at me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I also have a questionnaire in my bio.
Okay.
I have it there so that way people who are interested can write down if they have a concept or they want me to work with them on a concept.
Nice.
I ask if they're able to compensate for my time, or if they compensate for my travel. I also ask like their turnaround time and if they have references. So it's a pretty basic template, but I also feel like I approach my shoots very selectively, but at the same time, I'm confident enough that if I am asked to help someone with a project that they have or have in mind, then I would be able to deliver it. And at the end of the day, my point is just to do a job correctly and to do it well. So good people skills are necessary for that, and not taking things too personally sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially as an introvert, it's exhausting being an extrovert during a photo shoot. Let me tell you.
But look at you, organized, professional. That's like really, that's really good. The questionnaire really helps everything out.
The questionnaire has, oh my gosh, it's
helped you a bit.
It's taken a lot of stress out of my life a little bit. So I know exactly who I am potentially going to collab with or be compensated by or anything like that. So
yeah, you have your little mailbox there full of the questionnaires, and I'm like,
because I have really bad. Well, my anxiety has gotten worse lately, but I have a lot of paranoia and anxiety when it comes to like people showing interest in working with me. I'm all like, what are your intentions? What are you about? Let's see if I can make whatever vision you have come true. So
true. And compensation, a crisp high five.
Well, actually, I have a person who reached out to me and I told them I only do collabs, and she's all like, I don't care, I'm paying you. I was like, okay. so she paid for the studio. She's paying me. I'm just like, I'm not going to turn down compensation. So if somebody offers it, I'm going to be like, sure.
Take the money.
Yeah, I'm taking the money. I'm taking the money.
All right. Now, I mentioned this before in our other episodes. Now, one of the main tools when it comes to making ideas, making projects, Pinterest. It's organization for me right there. And I'm able to send it to the model or send it to another photographer for ideas, or even send it just to think about it, a collab maybe. And it's just very organizational for me because all these different ideas just pop in my head, and then I just organize them and then kind of find ways to describe it, write down notes. So, but that's how I do my projects, and some of them are becoming my favorites. Others I tend to eliminate and then make some new ones.
Every single shoot that I do, I make separate Pinterest boards. So like I will put shoot with the model's name, and I'll just create a Pinterest board. So I have about probably over 100 Pinterest boards already made up.
Dude, same. I feel like I got thousands. But in the topic of projects, I wanted to see about you, Rebecca. So do you care to share about any some of your favorite modeling projects from the past up until now that you've been a part of, and why do they stand out to you?
One that is pinned on my profile is one that I creatively directed, and I did it last year during Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month because I am Taiwanese American, and I've always wanted to find a way to celebrate or elevate Asian American or Asian talents in this area, especially because so many of us didn't necessarily receive support from our parents to venture into this. And I know that is a background story that maybe other cultures can resonate with, but particularly the Asian American community knows what that means. And very rarely do people of our background get to venture with parental support and familial support into something like this. So I think my own parents were either one parent doesn't know, one parent's just like, okay, I'll just, turn a blind eye when you don't look like you're wearing enough clothing. But I see so many talented Asian Americans in our area. And I also think that a lot of education is required about using motifs that come from Asian cultures.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So anyway, the project that I have pinned is called Timeless Asians, and it was basically inspired by Crazy Rich Asians.
I remember that one.
Yeah, so I had 3 of my friends get recruited, and the idea was brainstormed between me and another model whose handle is Copper Cosmonaut. Is one of my middle school friends, actually, from New Jersey.
Dude, shout out to Copper Cosmonaut, guys.
They just moved to Japan, so good luck trying to get them.
Oh,
but
well,
they and we basically came up with a time travel era personification version of what does Asian success look like in different generations? So we had 4 embodiments, basically. One represented old money, which was me. One represented like a traditional old background, which was portrayed by Minji, who's Moth Fairy on Instagram. And then one person portrayed new money, and that was played by Cell. And they made a custom tuxedo from scratch for this shoot. And then one person represented the future of what the best of Asian glory, like winning every Oscar, like Asian success. What does that look like? And that was portrayed by our friend Jessie, who took a dress from Forever 21 and like completely bedazzled it and made it their own. So the 4 of us represented these 4 different eras, and I organized this shoot with 2 Asian photographers, one main photographer, Huynh, and one backup photographer, Jesse. And then I had a film photographer, Drew, who was my friend, came down from New York. And then I got backgrounds from Textured Hands, who's made by Jarrett Hendricks, who's local to the area. And then I also had a videographer come up from Virginia Beach named Alvin, and he shot background footage for this shoot too. There was also a video component that we didn't get to do because of the weather. But I wanted us to sort of like be seen with like monuments of like of colonialism in the background and how we are superseding it, like superimposed over on top of it. So it was a project that I came up with, and I would have wanted to recruit even more people for it from this area. But I don't have the resources for all that. We all self-funded that. We all rented, the studio with our own money. We didn't get any grant for this. But I would say that's the project I'm most proud of, and that's why it's pinned on my page.
Well, shout out to you. That takes a whole lot of planning, dude. Yeah. Because like my favorite that I saw from you and your, I guess the group that you usually do those type of shoots with, like my favorite was the one you did at Eden Center. Like the one in, I think it has some Wong Kar-wai inspiration.
Oh, that was actually in Virginia Beach. That wasn't Eden Center.
Oh,
we
wasn't?
Found a lot down by Virginia Beach.
Oh, wow.
And
I think
it was a supermarket because it was the red fluorescent lighting.
Okay.
And we used 2 RGBs, and the 3 of us, Sal, Jesse, and I, we all took turns acting in it, shooting in it. We had to we didn't have a gimbal or anything, so we just had to try and move as smoothly as possible with
dude, I've been there. Oh my god.
Shooting B-roll and like reshooting lines, like cut action, and then Cell like try to put together. Yeah, that was what do we call it? Like nights in Hong Kong. It would have said Hong Kong, but the N and G lights were out, so it just says Hong Kong.
Oh, dude, when I saw that, I was like, maybe this is like an alternate universe or something. Yeah, but nope, it was
we completely improvised all the acting in that too. I'm like really proud of it.
I'm proud.
We made a little trailer for a full feature film that we never made, but I'm super proud of that as well.
It's a teaser. Maybe there's a whole movie coming out on Tubi coming soon.
We did that during what we called a microfilm festival last summer because we had so many movie ideas that we wanted to shoot, and even they were just a couple of seconds long, hence why we called it a microfilm fest. So it was just the 3 of us bunkered together, shooting stuff, making scripts, casting each other in different parts, thinking of backdrops, thinking of locations, thinking of outfits, and having us try to execute as many as possible in a 3-day window.
Oh, man, that sounds amazing, man. The fact that you guys did that, like, is just and executed it pretty great. Like, I'm a fan of that.
I have very creative friends, so it helps.
Dude, it really helps hear that. Like, you hear that, guys? Network, creative friends. Get it.
Your network is your net worth.
I kind of like that. Yeah.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't come up with that, so
still to us, she coined it. So
yes.
But wow, but the fact that you guys funded all that, like that is insane. Because I know for a fact that we're trying to come up with some project together, and sometimes we have our own little film festival that we do have to try our best to either fund it or just use our checking account and use whatever resources we got at hand. Because I, for one, like to make my props for my different projects that I do. And I guess that's on my money, right? But
how did you start monetizing your skills? And do you have any tips for anyone who wants to do the same?
Know your worth and add tax.
taxes.
Okay, for the people who didn't hear it in the back.
Know your worth and add tax.
There we go.
So I early on as a model that was asked by photographers for portrait shoots, I was always compensated, and I felt that that was a really good practice because they felt like I deserved it. And even though I was just starting out, I received a lot of encouragement that I was as comfortable or as fluid or as easygoing and as physically intelligent as models who had been doing it for a while. So that was kind of where I began to aim my hourly rate. And I haven't changed my hourly rate because this isn't something that I need to do to pay the bills. So it's a hobby. And I respect people's skills enough to willingly take collaborations as well, since that would be the most respectful way to honor each other's talents brought to the table. But yeah, I would say know your worth and add tax. Take on selective collaborations when you need it to build your portfolio. Don't be afraid to tell people if you have a rate, but at the same time, I would also ask enough photographers if they think you're good enough to be paid first, because I think there are a lot of new models out there who are just like, okay, I've shot with like 2 photographers now I'm going to charge.
Oh my gosh, tell me about it.
That's early in
We've dealt with this so many times.
Yes.
we know who we're
Yes.
talking about.
So if
We're not naming
photographers
names.
are the ones that are paying, then models would have much to stand to gain by talking to photographers and getting their honest opinions about whether or not they are good enough to charge. So with friends, I'll have a friendly rate with them who just compensate for, it's really time and effort. There's a lot that goes into modeling, like whether it's maintaining like your daily regimen to look the way that you need to look like, getting clothes, learning skills like makeup, and researching sets. Sometimes you have to do more for a shoot than you would think, like preparing the Pinterest board that you're talking about, or so there's so much time that goes into something like preparing for a shoot that I also know photographers put a lot into when they edit photos afterwards, and we don't see that. But I know that you guys are working very hard and have a long backlog of photos to edit. Similarly,
Shout out to hard drives.
models
Shout out to
also
hard drive.
can have a long backlog of things that they want to do too, and with limited
see, okay.
time, you have to take on projects selectively, or you'll wear yourself out. So I think it's good practice for models to be compensated by photographers who reach out to them. If the model reaches out, they should expect to hopefully compensate for the photographer's time, since they initiated the project. And I think that's just the most fair.
Amen to that.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I really found out how much a model goes through after doing my engagement shoot with my wife. I was sore as ever the next day, and I was just like, I am like, if I plan on doing a shoot, I was literally like, okay, have all my money.
It's very physical.
Because
yes.
I've never felt that much pain ever, just having to hold my wife a certain way and keep that pose for like 15 minutes while my photographer is doing every angle known to man. I'm just like, ow, it's burning. Like,
There was a shoot that I did in Joshua Tree National Park last summer. I haven't posted the photos yet, but
the other
did
one I
it at
really liked.
night. Yes.
Yeah,
You,
the
yes,
day
you
one.
saw some of those. Those are at Golden Hour and Blue Hour.
It was golden indeed, guys.
But I did a shoot with the meteor shower, the pristine meteor shower in the background. So I needed to find a photographer that knew how to shoot that. And I had planned this outfit that I brought over from DC to Joshua Tree, landed in LAX, drove 3 hours out to Joshua Tree. I've got like 2 giant luggage cases full of clothes and accessories. Had to find like the nipple covers for this outfit. I had like 5 million bracelets on. I had like a whole gold body chain suit. I did my hair, my makeup. I had like a tiara type thing. And I had this
Well deserved.
dress with a 10-foot long train on it. So it was like super epic. And the photographer would have me hold poses for like 15 seconds at a time because it was like a double flash situation to expose the back and then expose me. And they are really epic photos that I haven't posted because when you view them on Instagram, you can't see the full glory of these photos where you can see there's a comet that shoots in the background, but because it's a 10-second exposure, you can see the trail of the comet as it goes in the back. But if it's on your phone, you can't see it. But when I look at it on my like monitor at home, like that's how it should be seen. Like these are photos that should be printed like 3 by 2 feet and like put in my house that I want everyone to see. But like I just haven't shared it yet because it wouldn't do it justice on Instagram.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, if you ever choose to post it, I'm going to keep an eye out for that because that just sounds amazing.
It does.
I know, but the fact, like, because I tried
It was epic.
I tried astrophotography. It's pretty hard. I mean, especially because I don't know if the guy or whoever was a photographer did.
Her name was Noemi.
No,
the one in Joshua Tree?
Yeah.
Noemi. Her name was Noemi.
Noemi. So I don't know if they were able to, well, I assume it took a long time if it was an actual astro or if they did that on Photoshop, but if you know.
An actual what?
Well, you said there was a comet in the back and all that.
Yes,
So
we shot during the Perseid meteor shower. So these are real meteors.
dude,
This is why I went out to Joshua Tree from DC at that specific window in the summertime, in the desert, at night, in like 3-hour traffic with no signal.
Because around here, we have nothing like of that seed.
We literally have nothing.
You have to go out west.
Yeah. West Virginia, somewhere.
Because looking at that, if it ever pops out, I'm going to be fangirling, dude. Like, I will be.
I mean, our producer drove all the way out to West Virginia trying to see the auroras. And didn't work.
Sometimes it doesn't. And like we were really worried about the cloud coverage too. But there's a really epic photo with like this giant rock sculpture behind me. And also clouds that are kind of overcast, like, but everything is lit up and I'm backlit by like a red light. It's like really epic. And I kind of wish I could share them, but just wouldn't look right on a phone. So you just have to imagine it.
Yeah, it really keeps your audience on the edge of your seat, you know, just looking at all that. And when it comes to your audience, like, in order to keep them how do you keep your audience engaged when it just comes to more photos like that? Like big projects are kind of like saying, can't wait for the next one.
I don't care what my audience thinks. So I make stuff for myself.
Boom, 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 boom.
Okay. That is great.
It's your page. Do whatever the hell you want to do with it.
Like they may be fans, but in the end of the day.
If they're fans of my work, they're going to be happy with whatever I do anyway.
Yeah, you hear that, guys? Be happy with whatever she does.
So
clip that.
If you start making stuff just to get followers or likes, you're not going to make stuff that you like. Then why make it at all?
That's very true.
If you're going to make stuff that you like and people find it, then you will want to continue to make stuff that you like.
Exactly.
It's as easy as that.
True.
So I don't really care about what people think.
Like whether it's positive, negative is in general.
I rarely get negative. I don't think I've ever gotten negative. But
true. Okay.
You are so blessed.
I know. Because no delete comments or anything.
No, I don't think anyone's ever said anything that
good.
I've never gotten hate comments. I can't wait for my first one. Because what would they say? Like it's perfect. Everything I do is perfect. So
I mean, well deserved.
I mean, it's true though.
Yeah.
So yeah, I make stuff for me. If I like it, then I put it out, and I don't care if it gets 80 likes versus like another post that gets 500 likes. Like it doesn't matter to me. I've liked them all equally.
True. I mean, like that's pretty great. You know, I get there's a lot more engagement, at least for me, and more likes on Instagram. And I know you post a lot there. Do you use any other platforms aside from that?
No, just Instagram for now. I'm too lazy to get into X, and sometimes my stuff will be shared on Threads, but like I barely monitor that either. So right now it's just Instagram.
Yeah,
there's too many social media platforms out there.
I am thinking of getting into YouTube, but
do it.
Thank you. I know you are not the first people to encourage me to do it.
I'm slowly diving into the YouTube world as well.
Yeah, I'm doing that eventually, but I'm thinking of whether maybe I'll do my face, maybe I'll do faceless. I don't know.
I also want to do the faceless one too.
I know because I just that's just me. I think I just have that now.
Are you going to do like a voice changer too?
Nah, that's too much. Yeah. Maybe I'll be like, hi, or something like that. I don't know.
Or just do like how I did on my villain page, creative chaos is coming.
Yeah. But YouTube, guys. But yeah, seriously, like we mentioned this before, like a few podcasts ago, regards to try your best at like, well, I recommend Instagram, but there are so many other platforms you can do in order to get yourself out there in whatever.
One that I want to
creative route.
plug in now, I think, is Kara, because
I'm sorry, say again?
It's called Kara, Cara.
C.A.R. I
And
never heard
one
of
of
that
the founders, her name is Jingna Zhang. She's a Asian photographer that I really like from Singapore. And
okay.
it's known for not allowing AI to use your work.
Dude,
built
that,
in.
Yeah,
into
we
it.
need that.
So
yeah,
actually,
because
don't quote me on it. Let me double check to make sure it is. But that is, Jingna has talked a lot about.
this goes back. Remember the terms and conditions from Adobe?
I knew you were about to bring that up.
It pisses me off. I caved and I bought Affinity because they're not going to do any of that. They don't betray their audience, their loyal customers.
They only do that if you put it on the cloud. I don't put any of my photos on the cloud.
I have 2 photos on the cloud, actually. Yeah.
I don't put anything on. So I'm keeping all of my stuff. I feel bad that you dropped so much money for a new.
It was only $35, to be honest.
Oh, 35. I thought it was like 500.
They had a discount.
Oh, respect.
Yeah, so this is Kara's stance on AI art. We believe artists' rights should be respected, and the current use of creators' work without their consent in data sets is unethical. We don't plan to host AI art unless the rampant ethical and data privacy issues around data sets are resolved via regulation. So they're very robust about preventing art uploaded on Kara to not be absorbed for AI algorithms. So I know more users have been migrating to this app. I haven't made the change yet because I personally am just a model
right now.
Yeah.
So
there's an app for that?
it's called spelled Cara.
By artists for artists.
Yeah.
Got it.
Although I do remember that we used to have remember Vero? Yeah, that didn't go so well. So I'm not saying this will happen to it, but I hope it's not like
This has more like good reviews than Vero had.
Okay, so
I'm seeing there's 528 reviews on the App Store.
I'm downloading it.
4 stars. I'm gonna once we're done.
Yeah, I'm
with
gonna
this
once we're
episode,
done.
I'm definitely gonna create one.
Same.
This is from the FAQ. Does Kara train an AI with my data? And the answer is Kara does not train any AI models on its user content. Kara does not grant permissions to third-party companies to train on Kara's user data either.
That makes me cry. Tears of joy.
So it's
Tears.
it may be the move for more creators.
Well, I am so happy and love you so much that you brought that up. Now I'm going to make an account.
Yes, definitely.
But seriously,
I'm
shout
probably
out
also going to make an account.
to shout out to Kara, guys.
Yeah, shout out to Kara.
Yeah, we're going to do more research after this just to see.
Definitely.
And now I'm gonna let Emerson take over here. We're gonna move into a topic that Rebecca is actually very passionate about.
Very passionate about.
Yeah, so we're gonna dive into a topic that Rebecca Chen here is pretty popular for.
So, Rebecca, I've been following you for a while and I've seen you're really vocal on social justice issues. And I know you do not hold back, and I love to see it all the time. I've seen your stories and everything on what's going on in Palestine, and I totally feel everything that you've posted, and you're doing a great job at what you're doing, because there's a lot of people out here that just are ignoring everything that's going on over there. So I wanted to know, how do you use your platform as a model to advocate for social justice issues, not even just the genocide in Palestine, but everything that's happening to Black people here in America and all the other marginalized groups that are currently being oppressed?
Kind of like what I was saying before with the whole AAPI month post project that I made. I think that is one social justice issue that I care very much about. And it is a way to fight back against generalizations and objectification and exploitation of Asian American culture and people. And identifying myself as a person of color who's in this industry makes me very aware of different communities that share similar situations as me, and generally makes me a more empathetic person, you would think. So what is happening in Palestine is something that I care about so deeply, because it's it is not a political issue to care about children dying. It is not political to see that men and children are being slaughtered in mass in the search of terrorists, as the excuse is being made. And this is the most publicly broadcasted genocide in history, and everyone who has the internet and has access to social media is able to access the same information as me. So I'm not doing anything specifically unique, I think, in my sharing of what I see and what I hear to people who follow me. And I also see that it is not the most popular type of content I could be posting in my stories, but that's real life. And I also know that many creatives struggle with balancing how to be vocal about issues that they care about versus trying to maintain an art-only page. But for me, art can't exist in a vacuum in a world that is so full of pain and suffering and live under a bubble of ignorance. So much of art has been to fight back against oppression, and it's been used to broadcast like what struggles people have, to memorialize it, and so people can learn about it and be moved by it if they haven't thought of a struggle like that before. So I think art and real life go hand in hand, and I personally care about Palestinians a lot and have friends who are Palestinian, and what they're going through with their families feels like it's happening to my own family. And there's nothing special about me to think that way. But I don't see enough people talking about it, which is why I am so gung-ho about sharing as much as I can, because I have to assume that people just don't know enough, and not because they're willingly choosing to close their eyes to all of this. So I share as much as I can. And thankfully, in the past period of time that this genocide has been going on, more and more people I've seen on social media have begun becoming more outspoken about it. And I don't know if it's like a strength in numbers type thing, but I remember in the very beginning when there were no other people talking about it and I felt like I was the only one shouting into the void. That's a little bit like, you know, when you put yourself out there as a model for the first time and you feel kind of silly for being the only one who like has a passion about something. And I'm not trying to downplay what is happening in Gaza to a new coming model starting out their career at all. But I'm trying to say that when you feel like your entire identity is on social media and that's how you present yourself with the type of content you share, I am very happy if people have like begun to come to my stories as a resource for learning about something, because there's so much more to life than just modeling and the vanity that comes with that and like the art that comes with that. Because if more people can care and think and know about what's happening in real time to stuff that people are putting their lives on the line to publicize, then social media is doing what it's supposed to be doing. So I don't care if my engagement takes a hit. I don't care if people think that I'm too extreme. I don't care if people think that it has nothing to do with art, because art and life and suffering and coming out of it and freedom and fighting oppression are all things worth talking about on social media and worth making art about. So I've yet to find a way to, as an Asian American model, do more for Palestine, and I'm still searching for that answer. But in the meantime, as just an individual, not as a model, I go out to protest and support Palestinian artists and Palestinian small businesses. And knowledge is power. So like you have to know what's going on in order to be an informed person that talks about these sorts of issues.
Exactly. And I have so much respect for you for everything that you do. And especially with the fact that you don't care what anybody thinks. You're going to speak out on what issues like matter to you. Me, like I talk about mental health a lot on my page, and the amount of heat I get, how many is this like, dude, just shut up and find another page to post this stuff. I'm all like, it's my page. I'm going to do whatever I want to do with it. This is important to me. It's something I deal with daily. I'm going to post about it. Don't like it? Please leave. And so just, I love your attitude with everything. You just don't care about the backlash or the
amount of enemies you make.
Yeah, the amount of enemies you make. Like me, I'm still here and I'm still posting. I'm not stepping away or anything like that because I'm going to keep voicing my opinion on what I think of certain things. It is what it is, but I really love your stance on it, saying you just don't care what anybody thinks because this means something to you and you're going to put it out there. And I have so much respect for you for that.
Thanks,
Definitely.
Emerson. I really think that it comes from learning to be authentic at all times. And I actually think this is a very strong characteristic of introverts is we like to be the same in any given social situation. So on social media, that means you are trying to be who you authentically are in any situation to any type of person who might come across your page. So when people come on my page, they know exactly who I am, what I'm about. And if they don't like it, like you said, they don't have to stick around. And I think this problem only gets more difficult. Like the more followers you think you have and like the more you might have, more clout you have to lose. And I'm not like such a big person that, you know, I don't have anything to lose by talking about caring for humanity and caring for your neighbors. So if that's what people want to villainize me for, I would love to have a conversation with them. I don't think I have any haters, but because I generally believe that people like care about this issue, they just have their own ways of processing it. So it's not that I want everyone to be as vocal as me necessarily, but I have the capacity and the resources to share what I see and learn. So I want that to be known as much as, but more than what I do as a model part-time.
Yeah, I mean, you can embrace it for sure. And like everything that you do, everything that you are. And for example, I think when Emerson went through that, and then you became the villain.
The villain?
The villain.
Is the villain.
Yeah. I put an accent there.
I know.
but you did that because you pretty much embraced the fact that like all these negative talk is probably not going to stop at the moment. And then you just said,
it's still not stopping to this day. I'm embracing it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and let it like consume me and be all upset. Like, oh man, people don't like me. Okay. I'm the villain.
Because in life
I'm embracing it. Yeah.
Because back then, you know, I was always like an attention seeker. I was always like trying to say like, I want everyone to like me. But eventually, as I grew up, I learned no one's gonna like me, and not everyone's gonna like me. Yeah. And so, and it's been and it really, I guess, it depends on what you're saying, what you do, what you're sharing. And you're gonna get backlash for pretty much everything. There's always backlash to everything.
You can post about liking Coca-Cola. Somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, screw Coca-Cola. I'm Pepsi. You're a loser." Like, everybody's gonna have something to say about anything. I could be like, "I got new Vans." They'd be like, "Oh, well, I got Nikes." I'm like, "Okay." Like, okay.
Yeah, on every topic. Yeah,
every topic.
I think it has something to do with the fact that I've been vegan for 7 years. So I'm used to people kind of picking jokes at me. If anything, that's sort of the low hanging fruit people go for. So if you want to make fun of that, go ahead. I haven't heard anything new in a while, so try your best. But I don't think, I really wanted to appeal to, I think, most people's sensitivities about things. Like people care about animals, people care about other people. If they don't, I don't want to know them. I don't want to hang out with them. So if you want to expose yourself like that, please use me as a target and just tell me who you really are.
Yeah, come on, guys. What are you waiting for? Reveal yourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, but that's a great day because I know you advocated for so long for a lot of topics that you're passionate about.
Yes, and being authentic like that comes back into what I do as a model. Like I want to look like myself. I haven't had any work done. No offense at all to anyone who has gotten work done and, they feel more beautiful, but like everything about me is authentically me, work or no work done. So that is visible in everything that I do and in everything I'm a part of. And I don't take on projects that don't speak to that. So that goes back to before we were saying about knowing your boundaries and knowing what you're about. It makes it so much easier to filter photographers when you know yourself better and you don't hide it. But then again, my way of living life doesn't necessarily have to be how other people live their lives either. So this is just what works for me, and apparently it's what I'm known for now. So
you're an incredible person, and I've known this for so long. And then when like you put yourself out there, it's just I'm like, she's the future.
I'm not the only one. I think a lot of people
a
are
lot
going
of
to be
people
part of
do.
the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Future goals. Let's talk about that.
Sure.
I really want to know what your goals are for in regards to creativity, most specifically modeling.
I would like to see my modeling career continue to be as selective as it has been this year because I've had to take time off to study for the LSATs. So it will probably not be as prolific of a year as it was in years prior, but that's okay. I do have a lot of work that I haven't posted yet and some stuff that's kind of been cooking in the back for some time that I can't talk about yet until it's out. But I'm looking forward to doing more than just modeling, but remaining creative in any endeavor, whether that's dance or acting, starring in small things, applying to things, because those things give me life and a reason to keep going when everything feels boring and dark and dull. So I think I won't be modeling as much this year, but I will be enjoying my life nonetheless.
And that is great to hear, because we all should enjoy our lives.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm loving life now. I don't think I've ever loved life more than I have now.
That's great to hear. Tears of joy, guys. Tears of joy. And that brings this session to a close. And
this was great.
Yeah. And I want to make a big shout out, a big thank you to the amazing Rebecca Chen. Thank you for being our guest today.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
it was really fun.
Hope to have you again, before you're become the big star that you will be. And thank you, Emerson, for, being you.
Always and forever, the villain lives on.
Mm-hmm. And thank you, Producer Shane, for producing.
And not being a doctor.
Yeah, because, dude, do you even have a medical degree? No? Okay, he says no. Okay, well, that answers that. And yeah, so this is episode 19 coming to a close. So season's almost done.
Gosh, crazy.
Yeah, season 3 coming later on.
Oh, we got things planned for season 3.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
A lot of laughter, a lot of guests, a lot of good topics.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, this is goodbye to you guys. So keep an eye out, keep an ear out for us.
Definitely. I'll see you guys.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to the Phot-Bros podcast. Feel free to follow us on Instagram at Phot-Bros podcast and follow us on X/Twitter at Phot-Bros.